Nana TV International, for us, by us. Nana TV International, for us, by us. Nana TV International.
It's the 30th of January 2021. It's Saturday, and wherever you're watching me from, this is one-on-one live with Nana, and you're also live with Nana TV International Facebook, live on Nana TV International YouTube, live on Nana TV International Twitter, and Nana TV International live at Twitch. So wherever that you may be watching us from, good evening, and you're most welcome to our interview tonight. This evening, I am so honored. It's an honor. It's a privilege, and I am inspired. I'm happy and excited at the same time to have one of phenomenal women that I have gained so much respect for. I mean, the first time that we met, it was all smiles, and we promised to make it official and, come on Nana TV International, but it took a long time. But I'm glad that the time is right and we're about to set the ball rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever that you may be watching me from, thank you so much for your time. Appreciation going out to my executive producer all the way in Canada for putting this together. And of course, all our affiliates across the world, Japan, US, UK, Ghana, and Nigeria, respectively. And of course, all our producers all over the place. Thank you so much. Why don't you like our page and invite your friends to be part of today's discussion, today's interview, today's conversation. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so. We are also very much live there. So my name is Nana, and I go for a quick turn around. When I come back, I introduce my guest for tonight. Please stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
For us, by us. Nana TV International, for us, by us.
Welcome back from that break. Quick reminder, you're watching one-on-one live on Nana TV International here in Finland, and of course affiliates all over the world. Tonight, how is it possible to make 200 people smile within an hour? How is that possible? My guest is going to tell us all about it. And tonight we also want to look into her struggle towards happiness, how she found her voice. And now that she's found the voice, she is about to open up her struggle with ADHD disorder and other aspects of her life. She is a German, most known as ex-Nokia employee in the world. She is a co-founder of ex-Nokia community. She is also the CEO of Chocolate Angel, and she's also a photo artist. And tonight we're celebrating this great personality here on One-on-One with Nana. And Verena Rentrop is my guest.
Thanks.
Verena, welcome. Welcome. Finally, we are here.
Thanks so much, Nana, for your beautiful introduction. It's my absolutely pleasure. And it's so beautiful to still kind of connect and remember when we met first time, and
Right.
could make you smile as well as your husband and your two kids.
Yes, that was so true. I mean, we bonded so much that we decided to, come on the show so that we all can celebrate your good work that you're doing out there. But I believe this is the time, even though it took some time, but I believe this is the right time for us to have you. And I am honored. We are so happy to have you. So please, why don't you invite your friends and tell them that Verena is here live with me, the chocolate angel, aka chocolate angel. We'll find out why she is referred to as chocolate angel, right? So in due time, you also bring your comments as we celebrate her in the studios. If you also have a question for Verena, I'm sure she'll be very much glad to answer and be help to all of us. At the end of the day, she brings inspiration and motivation to the table. So you will not regret joining us. Please stay with us. So yes, let's set the ball rolling, Verena. I hope you are ready for me now.
Yes.
We want to take it from the beginning, want to take it all back, from the very beginning. You are a German. What brought you to Finland?
That was very much linked to my job, which I did for 15 years in Nokia in Germany. So I worked there, and from starting without English, just for working there for a couple of days, ending up 15 years later in a global role. And I always really enjoyed if I had a chance to travel to Finland on a business trip. And I worked in very different jobs. So I met a lot of people, connected with a lot of people. And back in 2011, there were, people who know a bit about the story of Nokia, they know it was around the burning platform story. So unfortunately, with many other people around the world, I lost my job in Nokia. And I usually say, that was quite an emotional divorce for me because I was quite a workaholic. And I usually say someone was so stupid, in hyphens, to approach me and offer me a job to continue to work for Nokia while moving to Finland.
Oh. Why do you say so? Because if someone offered you a job in a company that you have worked for 15 years, I think it's a good thing to say, don't you think?
I think that the point was more, I very much appreciated it, right? At the same time, because, right, I worked 15 years in the company and it was not really my fault, right? So on the other side of the equation was a lot of money. It was like, okay, Verena, here's your severance package, but just go away. And when I accepted the move to Finland, I said no to all the money. And let's say friends who knew me in Finland or knew me from Finland, they were like, are you mad? Why would you come to Finland? You are living in Germany. Aren't you happy there? But I have to say, I never regretted the decision, right? I pretty much took everything I had, right? Put it in a container, shipped it to Finland, took my small car, and my sister-in-law said she wanted to join me on the trip because usually I would travel to Finland on a plane, right? Düsseldorf in the plane, 2 hours later, I arrived in Finland. But when I arrived here for good, I took the ferry. So we drove from Düsseldorf all the way to the Baltic Sea. And then it took us, I think, over 30, almost 40 hours on a ferry. So that was my longest trip to Finland ever.
Wow.
And so my sister-in-law joined me on that 2-day trip because she felt that is really an adventure, you know, accompanying myself to Finland in my new life.
That's awesome. So briefly, how would you describe your working, you know, relationship with Nokia at that time?
I mean, at the time, right, I had a global role. I was in IT. I was a process manager. I worked with people all over the world. My closest work buddy was in Australia. And so, I mean, I was really passionate for my work, and I was kind of, it's kind of fun because I had my laptop in Germany, right? And I could connect with people all over the world, right? And I usually say with chat tools, I would just knock on their virtual door, right? So I really enjoyed my work, and so therefore and I remember for, I think about 10 years before, whenever, or I told my parents, if Nokia would ever say, hey, Verena, to continue your job working, you need to move to Finland, I would say yes. So in a way, when they did that, I said yes.
You said you were happy with, so moving to Finland, working in Germany with Nokia, and then working with Nokia Finland.
Yes.
I mean, which was your wow moment?
I mean, let's say, I mean, from a work perspective, it was a tougher time here because there were a lot of things happening around the time. There was outsourcing going on. A year later or so, Microsoft came along. So it was definitely a tougher time here from work perspective. But at the same time, I would say, because, I mean, even before, I usually say everyone I've met in the last many decades of working, we can later get to my age, but I remember everyone I ever worked with. So, and then I was suddenly ended up in Nokia House, or also known as NOHO. So because there I constantly met new people. So that was a really, really nice thing, because I would constantly kind of meet new people, interact with more people. So that was really, really nice to kind of finally, after 15, 16 years, arriving in the Nokia headquarters. Wow.
That's awesome to know. Now moving forward, let's look at why are you referred to as Chocolate Angel?
Oh, that's so sweet that you ask. I mean, should we for now, right, offer you and everyone else listening us that special moment? So let me say, there are 3 levels what I do when I work as a chocolate angel. The first one, right, as I did with you, I just approach stranger all over the place with a big smile.
Okay.
And then let me use my camera to move it a bit around, and let me see, there we have it. Wait a second.
Yeah.
I need to see that I get the, and then you see a box, and then the box goes open.
Open, right.
Oh, wow.
There's something in it. Lot of goodies.
Absolutely.
Treasures in the box.
And then the third level is when people meet their childhood memory. And for example, for all my friends who from Germany watch this, for example, with this candy, you can identify anyone who has a childhood memory in Germany.
Okay, that's German chocolate.
No, that is a German kind of fruit toffee, which is very simple, but it really connects people with their childhood memory. So I remember, for example, there were, right, you would get it at the doctor, right? It was like, oh, you were a brave child, here, take a candy.
Right.
But I mean, to still open up a bit, so on all my trips from Germany to Finland, I usually would go through duty free and started buying box of chocolate. Because right, if I in Germany, I work with my laptop and hundreds of people all over the world. So if I had a chance to travel and meet people face to face, right? So I would take in the morning my box of chocolate with me into the office. And then I started walking around the whole office. and I would walk up to every single desk, whether I knew the people or not, didn't
Oh,
matter
none.
at all.
Mm-hmm.
Then I approached them, offered them chocolate. And when the box was empty, I started, rocking and rolling in my real IT job.
Aha. So before you start your day job, you go around with a box of chocolates, with a smile on your face, just as the first time we met. And, you try to make everyone feel comfortable for the start of the day. And then when that is done, you go back to your role for the day, isn't it?
Absolutely. And in a way, I remember, right, then I got questioned because I often then had to approach people with a chat and just say, like from Germany, hey, can you do this or that for me? So they called it a bit, I re-bribed them because they remembered that nice moment of me offering them chocolate. But yes.
Right. That's really awesome. I applaud you. So if you're watching live one-on-one with Nana, live on Nana TV International, we're live on YouTube, Nana TV International. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click on the notification button so that anytime we are live, you will be first to be notified. We are also live on Twitter. We are live on Twitch. So yes, Nana TV International. So follow us on these major platforms that we are live on right about now. Many thanks to all our viewers so far. You'd want to invite your friends to be part of today's discussion as Verena shares her story and of course her struggle towards happiness. And what does that mean? She's going to tell us all about that and even more. So please stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Keep your comments coming. Keep the questions coming. Your encouragement coming, and of course, whatever you want to share with Verena, I'm sure she'll be excited to hear a word from you all.
Very much.
Very, very much so, exactly. So moving on, now we want to come to, I would say one of the reasons why you are here, on one-on-one with Nana. It's how your struggle towards happiness.
Yeah.
And I want to start by saying that what made you come out now, that that now factor, now is the time to open up, about your struggle with, or your struggle with ADHD disorder.
I mean, let's say it was a long time coming. And I can tell you also how it all started, or how I got even the idea in my mind.
Yes.
But from the perspective, why now? Let's say it took me really, really long to get on grips and talk with one particular person I had in mind, because I started talking about that, I have to say I'm not officially diagnosed, but knowing it now for most of my life and constantly reflecting and observing myself, the chance that I'm not an ADHD is by less than 1%.
Okay.
And so in a way, getting all those things together. And I also, the last years, I worked only as a chocolate angel, really helped me to balance out a lot and kind of come to grips with myself. And usually when I overcome, my struggle will be always there, but when I finally get myself together over the struggle, I'm usually quite talking a lot about it. So I started talking in individual, right? If I would have a coffee chat with you or a chat with you now, right? If no one would watch, I would open up about it. But then I felt that it seemed, because I never really understood in my life that my story would be an inspiration for anyone. I never, ever.
It did, especially I think it went wild on LinkedIn. So it did. A lot of lives were touched. Believe you me, and I was equally inspired. So yes, I believe that you coming out now, I believe it's timely, and it's doing a lot of good out there. You might not know the lives that you are touching with that story out there, that article. So now let's look at it from the beginning. Yes. How did it all start? Walk us through that journey.
Yeah.
How did it all start as an ADHD?
What happened, and that was, I mean, in my kind of remember, or when I remember my childhood, I was a troubled child. I was an unhappy child, and when I was, I don't know, 14, 15 years old, my younger brother got an official diagnosis as ADHD, and we are talking about the 80s, mid of 80s, which
80s.
gives the audience an idea of my age. And out of that kind of diagnosis of my younger brother, my mom came home one day and told me that, hey, all the struggle with you might be related to ADHD, that you have ADHD as well. It is just different for girls. And that was the only
And
thing.
at what age was that? How old were you?
I would say I was most probably 15, 16 years old at that time.
Okay.
And at that time, I lived already in a private school because I was so kind of angry and whatever. So I wanted to go on a leave home when I was 13. And my parents luckily had the means to send me to private school.
Okay.
So, but let's say that was the only sentence I ever heard in my life about that there is a potential that I have struggled with the same. So in a way, from that moment onwards, it was always a thought in the back of my mind.
Okay. Did you know about that? Did your mother kind of, schooled you a little about what it is? Did you know what that meant at that age?
No, but obviously I saw all the attention what was provided to my brother with
your little brother.
Yes,
right.
With extra diet, with special attention, with I mean everything. And I have to say, right, I had the conversation with my mom only 2 years ago, but I'm kind of glad that that she never put that attention on me. I don't think that would have been necessarily a successful relationship, but we have a very good relationship. So just to make that clear,
right.
But that was always kind of in the back of my mind. And I have to say, if I briefly kind of go into the recent history, because it was only in 2019, so only 2 years ago, that I learned that only now, just in German, the world of medicine accepts that it is far harder to diagnose ADHD for girls than for boys. Because for boys, it is a very physical thing, right? So they are more the hyperactive kind of, and also they are usually more aggressive. For girls, it is far more about constant talking, right? I sometimes see almost in the pain in the eyes of people, or at least how I perceive it, when I can't stop talking, when I'm just blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
There are huge emotional fluctuation. There's a huge lack of self-confidence. And I think people who meet me think I'm boosting self-confidence, but in reality, my self-confidence, even until today, is really, really low. So it might be that one moment, right, I make the former, for example, I made Taya Halonen smile. And for the audience who don't know who Taya is former
ex-president, female president
of Finland.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I made her smile as a chocolate angel, and then I might go, or I also, did the same to Jorma Ollila, right, Risto Sillasma, former CEOs of Nokia. And then I would go home, close my door and say, what the heck am I doing here? I mean, am I crazy? How can I dare to say I changed the world with smile and chocolate?
Right. Let's go back a little with what kind of childhood, when your mother mentioned that it's a possibility that you also have ADHD, just like your little brother, and your education, going to school, attention deficits, hyperactivity. How was your school like? How did it affect your schooling? Because you were smart and very intelligent.
I am. I can admit that now. But I mean, I'm constantly distracted, right? Everything around me, my attention span is like a fruit fly, right? Whatever comes along kind of gets my attraction, gets me distracted. So the best I can focus if I talk with you, right? I see your eyes, I can see your reaction. So I would say, I mean, the one thing of on ADHD is on one side, you barely are able to keep focus. On the other side, if you're really interested in a topic, you can completely immerse yourself. You might do something for 10 hours and forgetting everything else around you. So or one of the side effects were, for example, English was an absolutely failure for me at school. So in my whole, yeah, trust me, we have an interview in English, and
Yeah, I'm like, how? Because you are flowing as I mean, very articulate what you're saying. So how did that, you know, affect your English
I mean,
language?
let's say my first time I had to repeat a class due to my bad English grades were fifth, no, fifth class. So fifth class I had to repeat. I had to repeat due to bad English grades again in the 10th grade.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't know. I don't think any of my old English teachers are listening in, but who knows? I think at least one of my former English teacher at least knows, so he might be listening in to me now.
It could
So
be.
and the point was that it even got worse because, right, I was in a private school, and I was already even named as being an older for younger pupils, right, in the following year. But my parents told me, if you bring one more bad grade, then it's over. Your school career is over. And I just still got a failing grade in English. So in a way, English really kind of impacted deeply on my school. But I can just say nowadays, and I think that really happened in the last few years, I can look back at everything what happened in my life, including my failing grades in English, where I say they happened for a reason. Because the point is, trust me, if I would have been going all the way to studying whatever, I would not be in Finland working as a chocolate angel. No way, that would have never happened. So I'm very grateful for my bad English.
I mean, your English is great, if you ask me, really. Would you say that your bad English, you know, so to speak, as you put it, was due to, you know, being an ADHD? Could it be, or you were just not interested in learning English? I'm sure you were good at different other subjects.
I mean, I was, for example, very good in math. I was good in German. But I mean, it's perhaps a mix of not interested, but at least, I mean, looking back at my different teachers I had,
okay,
and the different grades, I think it has a lot to do with the teacher.
Right. Tell us about that. Because I also have, you know, scores to settle with my French teacher. So my inability to speak French is due to my French teacher. Very, very wicked. But tell me about yours.
Because I mean, and I think because I checked, let's say I posted about our interview also in a Facebook group where my old school, right? I mean, it's a private school. There were not so many. I think in total, while the school existed, we had about 1,000 people going there. So I know that at least one of my good English teacher might be listening in or listening to it later. So I think it might be that I was just kind of not as much kind of reacting to the way the teacher tried to teach me the language.
Okay.
Because, right, if you're not interested or if you're so easy distractible, right, then it might be also easier not to get you to, succeed in the language.
I agree.
And I still remember, because in that school, don't ask me why, but we learned Latin.
Latin?
Yes.
Okay.
I still don't speak, and even I still remember my father once in a while when we go to some place, right? You know, sometimes on those statues, you would see then some text in Latin, and he would challenge me and say, "Daughter, we sent you to a good school. Can you translate it?" And I'm like, "No." But that teacher, for example, he came from an evening school, so adults came there. They wanted to learn Latin, but we were kids. We did not wanted to learn Latin. So trust me, I failed in Latin as well.
Well, well, it's understandable. I mean, we don't use much Latin these days, if you ask me. So especially in our working space. So it's okay. Now let's look at it from this perspective, as you have shared. Did your parents ever mention to you, you know, any possible cause of the ADHD? Did they mention to you? Because researchers have not really come out with specific or causes of ADHD. But of course we could look at genes, or smoking during pregnancy, or the use of drugs during pregnancy, and all of that. Did your parents tell you?
I mean, I think that, especially because I know it is to a certain degree running in the family with my brother, right? So I just think it is, right, you're born that way, right? And I mean, again, looking back now, I mean, for example, and interesting, because what in a way happens, right? And someone described it the other day, it's like you have 4 radio stations constantly going on in your brain. Right? So your brain is just not capable of really kind of focusing or working in an it's just kind of, there's constantly kind of things going on. And so I can now say it is what I am. And I have to say also, looking back, because it was never really kind of taken anywhere further, right? There was no try to heal it or get me medication or whatsoever. So, and I have to say, looking back, I'm glad. I'm not saying that people shouldn't kind of consider medication or not going down that route, but for me now is because that also means that all the kind of interesting, right, getting distracted and picking up on everything what's happening on around me, I don't want to miss that. And because I always had that in the back of my mind, so I really learned my ways to deal with it. Right? So it was always a struggle, but if you struggle, that might also mean that you really find ways to even survive in your day-to-day doing. So therefore, looking back, I'm really happy that I never went down that route, right? No medication whatsoever. And I usually say, when I was really, really in a struggling mood, I take my non-existing long hair, right, and drag myself out of the mud in a way. So,
okay.
I mean, I have short hair, so I drag myself, right? If I'm down and if I really struggle, then I kind of pull myself out of the struggle myself, instead of kind of asking for help. That's just how I am.
Well, so basically you're saying that you actually helped yourself through it, not your parents, not friends, perhaps colleagues.
No.
You struggled through all by yourself. Tell us what in all these struggles, what was your most challenging moment or situation as an ADHD attention deficit hyperactive disorder? Challenging.
I'm trying.
And how you overcame.
I think let's say one of the things what I never really understood is that I mean, I'm meeting other people, or everything around me is really kind of intense, right? I meet people, right, and I have no filter, right? Everything what happens around me is pretty much goes unfiltered straight into my brain. And because also something which I don't connect to ADHD is I don't know, I'm not saying I have a perfect memory, but I remember everything, right? So people who work with me or who know me, right, and who know me from Nokia times, I tend to say, oh, do you remember him and her? And they was like, Verena, shut up. We know you remember everyone and we don't remember anyone. Usually people, right, they don't, right, you focus so much on your own work, right? You meet someone and the next day, right, you don't remember that anymore. For me, it's the opposite. I remember everything, right? So to kind of, at the same time, I often just don't want to see people because it is so overwhelming. So I had even times where I would not respond on phone calls from family and friends because I think that's one of the biggest, right? If you want to reach me, reach it by chat or whatever, but never, never, ever just ring on my doorbell because I might hide, because I'm just not prepared for suddenly unexpected someone want to,
visit you or see you.
Exactly. A kind of, get into my own space, right?
Okay.
But I think at the same time, I learned to deal with it. I learned to accept that. And it helped in a way that I moved away from my own home country, Germany, because here, right, I'm far more balanced. I'm far more in my own space, right? And we know Finland, right? You live in Finland, I live in Finland. It's not necessarily happening that someone just rings on your doorbell.
It's very unusual, very, very unusual. That I totally, I agree. Many thanks to all.
Nana, let me just add on that one story because I remember and I felt so bad about it.
You go ahead, yes.
Because there's this beautiful tradition here. Is it the week before or after Easter where all the kids, go around the neighborhood?
Yes, call it chocolate, sort of.
Yes, exactly.
Trick or treat, yeah.
Yes. And right, I had a really bad day and someone was insisting on ringing on my door and I was like, ah! But at the same time, I'm the chocolate angel, right? And the daughter of a neighbor, right? They were standing there and I had not even my glasses on. I just opened the door, I saw them standing there and I pretty much slammed the door back.
Oh my God.
And then I think it was my first year in Finland having that tradition. And then when I read it afterwards, I saw the father and I took a box of chocolate and I gave it. And I said, please say sorry to your daughter. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm sure you meant no harm. So
no.
They probably understood from there. Thank you for sharing. You're watching live one-on-one with Nana here on Nana TV International. We're live on YouTube. Please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nana TV International. We're also live on Twitter, Nana TV International. We're live on Twitch, Nana TV International. And please follow us on all our social media platforms. Many thanks to our viewers watching us. Why don't you share and invite your friends that the Chocolate Angel is here and she's sharing her journey as an ADHD, how she struggled through her childhood and to become who she is today, that we are celebrating here on Nana TV International. Very interesting and inspiring story, I must tell you. You might want to share with someone. Eugene Black, I appreciate you. Selassie, thank you for your time. Darius Sam, thank you. Rhoda says, hello, Nana. Guten Abend. What was that? What was that?
That's good evening. I'm sorry.
Good evening. Thank you so much. Thank you for at least I've learned one word in German. Sonata Diares, thank you so much for your time, darling. Dorina Jiman, thank you so much also for joining us. Neo Obinwa says, great interview. Thank you, Neo, giving us a thumb up there. Victoria Hannah, thank you so much also, sweetie, for your time. Ifani Okosa, thank you for joining us. Mark Benya Wilson watching. We appreciate you. Felix Odiri is also watching. Thank you so much. Why don't you invite your friends to join us as we having conversation with Verena, the Chocolate Angel, ex Nokia employee. She is also the co-founder of ex-Nokia community. She's also the CEO of Nokia, Chocolate Angel in Finland. And she's sharing her struggle and her, of course, her success, how she's been able to walk through that journey as an ADHD. And ADHD means that attention deficit hyperactive disorder. It's very difficult for one to concentrate or be very active, hyperactive with that kind of disorder. And with Verena, she didn't have any control. She didn't have any help from family, friends whatsoever. She did everything by herself. So for her to be working with Nokia, almighty Nokia, then for 15 years, and she owning her own company in Finland that is Chocolate Angel OU, that is an inspiration. That is one inspiration story you wouldn't want to miss. So we're moving on, right? We just heard about one of those challenges, moments, stories that she's told us about. Now let's look at your push factor. What keeps you going single-handedly? Walk through this journey without nobody holding your hands, nobody walking you through, no medication whatsoever, no medical or no doctor by your side, no therapy. You walk through this journey, Verena. You are one legend to be celebrated. If because there are a lot of people with this living with ADHD, and they are really struggling. They can't even make it on their own. They ought to be assisted or be constantly, guided through their daily routines. Yeah. What has been your push factor? What has been your goal moment? What is it?
Let me still say one more thing. It's not that I don't think my family wouldn't have wanted to help me. But right. I think also that it would have been pretty much impossible for my mom or for my parents back in middle of the 80s to get a diagnosis for a girl. So therefore I'm happy, but I know, and for the push or the pull factor, I think what really kind of pulled me into kind of something I wanted was when I got into the work world. So I was kind of lost, I don't know what to do after school. And then it ended up that I got an apprenticeship in a trucking company. Mm. And pretty much from my first day at work, I was like, oh, that's interesting, right? That's exciting. That is something, right? I'm needed, I'm wanted. I could really kind of find my own ways and my skills. And it might be also partly related. I am usually say I was born into a family business. So my older brother is running our family business in the third generation. So, I saw work from day on, from my first days in life, right? So my playground was our family business. And so when I got into the work world, and that was usually, I say, right, when people want to ask about my age, I say, where were you in 1988? Right. Nana, can I ask you a counter question? Where were you in 1988?
1988.
Yes.
Do I even remember? I was probably wandering somewhere in the wilderness.
Never mind. But I started working, and so that means so right when I earlier said about either having the attention span of a fruit fly, or you fully embrace yourself in a topic. So work was for me the embracing thing. So I would, and I remember, because at the same time it was not easy, because again, right, I could start 100 topics, but I really struggled to finish them. Right, so I'm constantly right, oh, here, there, and then I still need to kind of finish things. And back when we think about, right, end of the 80s, we were not talking about multitasking computer. right? So there was nothing what kind of would support my all over the place ways. So my feeling was that I was not sufficient. So I would even work more and harder and longer hours, and I would work also still in my Nokia years, right? I would never find an end working because I always felt I was not sufficient or not good enough. Others would just go home after 7.5, 8 hours, and I might work 10 hours, 11 hours. There was still something to do, right? But work definitely was for me the key moment. And ever since I became a bit of a workaholic.
That. I mean, I applaud you. That's really awesome that you found that moment and made it your own.
Yeah.
You know, yes, and that enabled you to, you know, push further and never gave up on yourself or your dream. We want to go for a quick break, quick breather. When we return, we'll still have more to find out from Verena, the chocolate angel. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Nana TV International, for us, by us. Nana TV International, for us.
Welcome back from that break. We're celebrating the chocolate angel here, Verena RENTROP. She is a German co-founder of Nokia, ex-Nokia community. She's also known as the most popular Nokia, ex-Nokia employee also, and she is a CEO of Chocolate Angel here in Finland. And of course, she's sharing her story with us, how she found her happiness, you know, her struggles towards happiness as an ADHD, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. And I must say that is very brave, very, very brave of her to openly declare and tell us the way forward, how she was able to, you know, come out with it. And now she is a champion that we are all celebrating. Worked with Nokia for 15 years and still not counting. Now she has her own company and she meets people, more than 200 people a day with a box of chocolate with a big smile. That makes their day. That makes their day. So isn't that awesome to know? We're coming to the end of our conversation gradually, but we're still here. We want to, Verena, would you say that meeting people, working with people, because as you said, obviously, like you were workaholic, would you say that working with people, meeting with people in a way has contributed to your you being able to work yourself out or through as an ADHD?
I mean, on one side, right, I love meeting people, right? I love making you smile. I connect with people on every level, right? I remember you all. I care. I mean, pretty much my heart is huge, right? You all have space in there, while at the same time, meeting people, being in the physical presence of other people, I'm not saying it stresses me out, but it's so intense, right? I remember everything. So it's a kind of thin balance line between, right, making you all smile, connecting, bringing everyone together, while at the same time keeping my alone time and my health kind of level. Because for me, alone time is a really important thing. And the moment I leave my apartment, I'm in a way the chocolate angel. So even if I go to Posti, right, or the supermarket, right, I'm always interacting with people. So, I mean, I learned my ways how to deal with both. And I mean, I will, because, for example, I know you, it's funny when you earlier said, no, I'm not the CEO of Nokia, I was never. But for example, Nokia officially dropped the motto, Nokia connecting people. So I usually say I officially adopted Verena connecting people.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the right term is there, beyond Nokia, for people who are listening. And I shared this also with in the Beyond Nokia community. And that I earlier talked about my closest work buddy in Australia. Her name is Elsie Pavamuk. And we worked, with 10 hours difference. And we together started a Facebook group in 2011 called Beyond Nokia, which has now over 25,000 members, which are current and ex-Nokians from all over the world. So just to give that a bit of context.
Right. Let's see if we have any comments, but not yet. So please keep your comments coming through as we are celebrating Verena here in the studio, gradually coming to the end of our conversation tonight. Of course, this won't be the first or the last. Verena is coming here on the show, but many thanks to Lady Fatima Usman has joined us. Thank you so much for joining us. Verena, does group like does people, are you threatened by people? Are you scared to meet people?
No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. But I'm also not the normal social person. So, for example, I really don't enjoy, for example, doing things what other people do, right? I never had a group of friends. So I'm not going into a bar to meet friends because it's always so intense for me. But at the same time, there's nothing better than meeting other people and making them smile. But I usually really, for example, as a chocolate angel, right, that takes just a few seconds. Just when I write, you refer to the 200 people in an hour.
Yeah.
So, I mean, walking through an office, right? Walking, you see, okay, here's someone sitting, there's someone sitting, or you have a conference, for example, right? I mean, one of my dearest, young men from Ghana is my adopted son, Moses.
Yes, I was going to go to that, but now that you mentioned, right on.
So, I mean, for example, he invited me now for a few years to the Afrolink conference in Berlin. And there, right, I would walk through the whole conference the whole day, right, making sure, because I have that photographic memory, so I know exactly in a space of several hundred people who have met me or not. So I'm absolutely not scared of people, but I found a perfect balance between, meeting people, making people smile. And I learned in the last years, I mean, one of the secrets is my whole life, I never understood that to the outer world, I'm that energy buzzing, always smiling person.
I know.
Inside, I felt horrible, right? And that was part, and that is also part that it took about 4 or 5 years ago. I read an article on a page about ADHD because I was always researching it. And it brought a word cloud full of all those positive side effects of being an ADHD. And that really boosted myself in understanding really that my effect on other people is so much stronger than I would have ever dreamed of in my life. So I will continue making you all smile. There is no question. And that is the most enjoyable thing for me. I will do that. I'm not planning to ever retire as Chocolate Angel.
That's awesome. That is so beautiful to know that you're not retiring, and it's good to know because it makes all of us smile. So it's really nice thing to hear. But we want to go for a break. But before we do that, I want to ask, being an HD, was there a time you felt rejected? Either by a colleague or at work or friend out there, was there a time you felt rejected because you are an HD? You know,
I don't think I was that I felt it that way, but at the same time, right? If you have no filter and every emotion, every right, I can read your face, right? So I would feel quite often a rejection, which was not there, but I felt it because, I mean, I feel whatever micro senses, right? Which the other person might not even want. So quite often I feel I react much stronger inside than the other person perhaps wanted. And I can say in general, for example, this whole low self-esteem or self-confidence, right? So I'm really hard in taking compliments, right? So, but at the same time, I will never forget if I get a negative reaction. So that pretty much stays as well in my elephant brain. And I really need to work hard to overcome a negative response on my work or whatever I do in my life. So
wow.
yeah, it's. I mean, the negative stays far longer than any positive can stay.
Thank you so much, Rena, for sharing this with us. This is very, very insightful indeed. I mean, when I got to know about I read your article, it got me to tears. I mean, for you to come this far, you worked with Nokia for 15 years with, being an ADHD, and you still held on. You still, in that time, 1988, as you rightly mentioned, that there was no help. There was nothing. So you had to walk through, this journey all by yourself. And I salute you, Verena, and thank you so much for sharing your journey. Now that you have openly declared and told us about your story, what would you say to anyone struggling with an ADHD, and or those who even work in that area? What would you say to them?
I would say it's absolutely okay to be different. That for once. Because I mean, you are certainly different. You are certainly different in many ways. I would say it's really important to look up and if I get permission, I have this word cloud, which was in German translated into English to publish it. And just to say, embrace the positive side effects, right? Embrace that you are different. And I remember, for example, I met when I open individually with people before I started talking quite openly, like we do today.
Yeah.
Well, I meet, for example, parents where they say, hey, I think my child, suffers from it. And I say, tell them if they want to speak with the chocolate angel to have an, one-on-one with the chocolate angel to talk about. Because it's really important to understand as much as you struggle, and because it's not going away. Right, but it also for example, it's said that some of the most creative and ingenious people are ADHD. So there's not, it's absolutely okay, but you really need to find your ways, right? And don't try to do things forced by society as everyone else does it. It's okay to be different. Absolutely.
Oh, very nice. Respect to you. Well, we'll go for a break, but before we do that, when we come back, we'll have a bit of organized fun, truth or dare. I hope you know about that game. We always end up our interview with that. So get ready, Verena.
Okay.
Losing up, girl. Right. So let me take a message from Christopher Mupenda, and then we'll go for a quick breather. Christopher says, I must say I salute you, Verena, for I remember meeting you couples years ago, and I remember your energy and smile. Now hearing your struggle, big respect for you. Oh.
Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Christopher. That was very nice to hear, isn't it? Thank you so much. Yes. I mean, she has that charm on all of us, that smile. You can't go with it. So we're going for a quick break. Please don't go. When we return, truth or dare, we put Verena on that spot. Don't go anywhere.
By us. Nana TV International. For us, by us. Nana TV International. For us, by us.
Welcome back from that break. I think I have some comments that I might have missed, but I'll try to get them all here right about now. Because says, good to see you on global platform, Verena RENTROP. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Isha says, I love to hear you, dear Chocolate Angel. Cheers to your success and salutes to you, to your struggle. Again, Isha says, great inspiration, Chocolate Angel. Again, hats off to Verena, our Chocolate Angel. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get all your comments coming through, but yes, thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Now we're going for a bit of organized fun, as I said, when we come back. Now, Verena, are you ready for me? Truth or dare?
No, but go ahead, give it to me.
Okay, so now it's a game. You have to choose whether to be truthful or daring. So truth or dare?
Let's go for truth.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Fantastic. I love that. Tell me truthfully, being an ADHD, was it or is it difficult, or are you ready to fall in love?
Oh.
Truthfully.
It was the simplest thing, but it was never a success story.
To fall in love.
I would constantly thinking I fall in love with someone, and it was every time I would say more or less a failure. And a few years ago, I realized that was the last time I thought I was in love, and it turned out he became my best friend forever. And now I'm just happy not being in love and just being on my own, but giving love to all of you, whoever meets me anywhere in the world.
But would you give love a chance? Should it happen? I mean, you are beautiful. Would you give love a chance?
No.
The chapter is closed?
The chapter is closed.
You might never know this. There might be some.
But no. It's no. But I'm really very truthful on this one.
Yes, I agree.
Because right, as said, I reflect constantly, and I know when I was in love, it screwed up my mind. So I could not do what I do as a chocolate angel with, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Every day I spread positive energy into every part of the world. I could not do that if I would fall in love. So therefore, for the sake of the whole world and the smiles which are so urgently needed, the chapter is closed.
Your kind is rare. Chocolate angel, your kind is rare. So you're sacrificing your love, for us all. Wow.
But there's really no sacrifice, trust me.
It is. It's a big sacrifice here. Trust me, because I don't think I'll sacrifice my love, for the whole world. I'm not. I'm being very honest here. I don't think I would. So that's why I'm saying that your kind is very rare. But thank you so much for being you and being truthful to us. We so much appreciate. With my viewers, we say we salute you, we respect you, and we love you. And we wish you the very, very best going forward. We wish Chocolate Angel the very best, company the very best. And of course, the people that you meet and you spread love and smile to, they would also give you, in a way, some level of love back. You understand, if you understand, maybe.
Dear Nana, absolutely. I understand you and what I can tell, right? Because it's not just that I give love, but the reaction of people all over the world I meet as a chocolate angel give me an amazing boost of energy back. So every single time, and I know when people say like, come on, chocolate angel, by now you know how, right, that you have that reaction. And for me, it is a moment of awe every single time. Because I mean, changing someone from, and you know how it is in Finland, right? How many people do you meet who smile at you, right?
Tell me about it.
I walk around, right? And I know with my smile and the box of chocolate, I can make any person in the world smile. Finn, from Ghana, wherever they are, it works with everyone.
Well, before we go, I want you to pick your chocolate box, the chocolate angel box, to the camera. You know, this is how you meet Verena at first, yes, and then da da da, loads of chocolate, loads of chocolates, and that's why she's referred to as Chocolate Angel. And you pick your choice. And you take it away with a big smile, and
absolutely,
you don't have to pay anything. Absolutely. You have a chocolate and a warm smile and a bit of chats there. It makes your day so well. I mean, the first time we met, it was magical. I was blown away. I'm like, what is this box? What is this woman with this box and with all the big smile? What for? And then when she opened, like, have one. Like, I can have one? Yes, you can have one. It was so nice. Thank you so much, Angel.
The thing, it is the appreciation, right? Because someone said, it is about you are seen, you are worth the positive attention of another human being. And there's even an official term for it. It's called micro moments of love.
Yes. Micro moment of love. I remember so well. Now, before we go, Emma Tamanka says, you are a unique being. Wow. Your own happiness is what matters. And Gianna Forsang, our own upcoming city councillor or candidates, says, Verena, your smile says it all. You are an amazing person. That's so good to know. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. We'll come to the end of our discussion and our conversation for tonight. Remember, be that person also, be that change, be that light, and let someone celebrate you also. So let's be that positive change, that energy, positive energy out there. And of course, together we will celebrate all of us. Thank you, everyone, for your comments and your inspirational messages. It's been amazing and insightful interview with Verena RENTROP, a German, worked with Nokia for 15 years, moved to Finland, continued working with Nokia until Nokia became what it is now, and then she established her own company, Chocolate Angel, and is doing so well in Finland. Also, her struggle with all these she had to deal with being an ADHD. And thank you so much. Now she says it was a time to open up and tell it all. Thank you so much for believing in Nana TV to open up about your struggle and finding your own happiness. Thank you so much. We appreciate and honor you.
My absolutely pleasure, Nana.
Your last word to our viewers before
Thanks
we
for
go.
making us, for enabling me to do this.
Yes, your final words before we say bye-bye.
Greetings from your one and only chocolate angel. I send you a big smile and a lot of positive attention. Anywhere in the world, wherever you are, you can find the chocolate angel everywhere, social media. It's right. Check my website. I usually say the website was designed with a dream in mind. If you have a bad day, check my website and the smile is guaranteed. It's chocolate-angel.com.
Oh, thank you so much. If you have, so don't forget, if you're having a bad day, just go to chocolate-angel.com.
Absolutely.
Right, I got it. So there's no reason to have a bad day. Just go, and there's a smile guarantee for all of us. Thank you. We love you. We appreciate you, Verena. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Many thanks to my producers, especially my executive producer Salom, all the way in Canada, and thank you to affiliates across the world. And remember, Love Gazim, our next program is coming your way very, very soon. We're going to discuss love, romance, and of course, sex, because COVID has affected so much, and we cannot ignore that aspect of our lives. So keep your fingers crossed. We'll keep you updated, and a lot of things coming your way from Nana TV International. Until then, my name has been Nana, and good evening to you all. We thank you so much. Isha says, thank you, Nana TV, for hosting Chocolate Angel. Absolute pleasure. Thank you, everyone, and have a great, great weekend. Bye-bye.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
Nana TV International, for us, by us.